The nation presents a mix of custom and innovation that is trying to view as somewhere else on the planet. Qatar praises its inheritance yet at the same time offers novices and guests popular conveniences, lodgings and framework, and a mix of worldwide societies, cooking styles, and ways of life. From its set of experiences and society to its geology and multicultural populace, Qatar is perhaps of the most intriguing country on the planet. Whether you've been here 10 days or a decade, there's continuously a genuinely new thing to learn. Without much ado, we've chosen 16 interesting and fun facts about Qatar, and we guarantee you won't know all of them. Number 1. Qatar is the second flattest country in the world. You've presumably seen at this point that the nation is level, yet you likely didn't understand exactly the way in which level it is. Truth be told, it's the second flattest country on the planet, with its most noteworthy point lying at only 338 feet high. Only the Maldives is flatter, with a high point of 6 feet. It's uplifting news for cyclists and sprinters, awful news for climbers. Qatar is 2 meters higher than it was quite a while back. While it probably won't seem like a lot, throughout recent 4 centuries Qatar has gradually been ascending because of topographical uplift. Number 2. Hamad International Airport and Qatar Airways are the best in the world. Here in Qatar, people love being a winner. Which is why their efforts to be home to the best airport in the world came into reality according to the Skytrax World Airport Awards 2021. If you've traveled through Hamad International Airport, you'll know why it's so highly rated, from the fantastic public art to the smooth journeys. It's also home to the longest runway in Western Asia, at 15,912 feet, and 6th longest in the world. Add to this, the national carrier Qatar Airways was named the Airline of the Year at the 2021 Skytrax Awards, becoming the first airline ever to take home the prestigious award at least 6 times. Qatar Airways is also one of a select few airlines that flies to all 7 continents, and at one point, it had the longest regularly scheduled flight in the world between Doha and Auckland, at 16 hours and 30 minutes. Number 3. Al Khor Al Adaid is one of the only places in the world where the sea meets desert. The sand dunes of the desert are always breathtaking, but Al Khor Al Adaid, or the Inland Sea, is extra special. The area, which was declared a nature reserve in 2007, is one of the few places in the world where the sea meets the desert. In fact, Qatar is attempting to get the area named a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Qatar is a peninsula, which means it is surrounded by water on most of its sides, giving it a long coastline with a length of 563 kilometers. Number 4. Doha has the longest continuous bicycle path in the world. The Olympic cycling track in Doha holds a Guinness World Record for being the longest continuous cycle path in the world, which is 33 kilometers long. Created by Ashghal, the Public Works Authority in Qatar, the track was completed in 2020. It runs through 18 underpasses to ensure uninterrupted movement. The track also holds the record for the longest piece of asphalt concrete laid continuously, with a length of 25.3 kilometers. Number 5. Qatar is the second safest country in the world. There are many motivations to cherish Qatar, from the astounding museums and art galleries to the incredible seashores and parks. In any case, a significant explanation individuals move to this sublime nation is the way that it's among the safest in the planet. As indicated by the most recent Numbeo Crime Index, Qatar has the second least crime percentage, at 14.03 brings up of 100, simply behind Abu Dhabi at 11.72. What's more, this isn't the main time Qatar has been named among the most secure objections on the planet. It was additionally named the most secure city on the planet in 2017 and 2019, as well. That is protected, away you check it out. Number 6. Men outnumber women by 3 to 1, as expats outnumber Qataris. According to the latest census figures from December 2020, men outnumber women in Doha by about 3 to 1, with just 811,600 women in a population of 2,846,118. In fact, Qatar has the highest male-to-female ratio in the world, with the worldwide average male-female ratio standing at 1.02. The UAE and Bahrain also have high male-female ratios, at 2.56 and 1.53 respectively. Just 15% of the country is Qatari. Qatar is undoubtedly an attractive country to expats, who come here for the great weather, the laid-back lifestyle and, of course, the tax-free salaries. The pull of Qatar is so great that there are now more than 2 million expats living in the country, which means that Qataris are in the minority, at around 15% of the population. Number 7. The Arabian oryx is Qatar's national animal. This majestic animal, which was saved from extinction in the 1970s by zoos and reserves, is the national animal of Qatar. You might have spotted the oryx on the Qatar Airways logo, or, if you're a sports fan, you might recall that an oryx named Ori, very original, was the mascot for the 2006 Asian Games in Doha. Number 8. Robots are used for camel racing in Qatar. If you don't already know, camel racing is hugely popular in Qatar, with races taking place at Al Shahaniya Camel Racing Track between October and February every year. Originally, children would be used as jockeys for the camels, but robots have been used instead since 2004 for health and safety reasons. The robots are controlled remotely by the camel herders who often drive alongside the track. Number 9. The name Qatar dates back to 50 AD. Roman writer Pliny the Elder referred to the inhabitants of what is now Qatar as Catharii back in the mid-1st century, and the name has gone through several iterations since then. Qatara was then used until the 18th century, when Qatara became the more common spelling, and several variations, including Qatr, Qatar, and Qatar, were also commonly used until Qatar was officially adopted as the country's name. Number 10. From pearl diving to oil. Pearl diving was a mainstay of the Qatari economy for thousands of years, and is celebrated as a key part of the country's culture. That all changed in the 1920s, when Japan began exporting cultured pearls, and the market was flooded. Qatar, like many countries in the Gulf region, pivoted to oil, drilling its first well in 1939, and exporting crude oil as early as 1949. More fields were discovered in 1960, and again in 1970. Oil is now a huge part of the economy, and Qatar is even home to the longest drilled oil well in the world, at 40,320 feet. Number 11. Qatar is one of the richest countries in the world. Looking around at the glitzy skyscrapers and unbelievably ambitious projects like the Pearl Qatar and Lusail, it should come as no surprise to you that Qatar is one of the richest countries in the world. According to the International Monetary Fund's 2020 estimates, Qatar's gross domestic product, GDP, per capita is a whopping $138,910, putting it well ahead of Luxembourg's $112,045 in second place. Also unsurprisingly, much of this wealth comes from petroleum and natural gas, which account for more than 60% of GDP. Number 12. Qatar's flag has an interesting origin story. The flag of Qatar is all over the city, but have you ever stopped to wonder what it means? Well, we're here to educate you. First off, the 9 serrated edges are meant to signify Qatar's inclusion as the 9th member of the reconciled Emirates of the Persian Gulf during a treaty with the British in 1916. The color, which is defined as Pantone 1955C, or Qatar Maroon, is a nod to the country's role in the purple dye industry on Al Khor Island. The flag is also totally unique, as it is the only flag in the world that has a width more than twice the size of its height. Number 13. Qatar's first school was opened in 1949, and its first hospital in 1947. While there had been centers for education way before the 20th century, the first formal school in Doha was established in 1949 by the name Isla al-Muhammadiyah. It was staffed by 1 teacher and 50 students, but rapidly expanded. The American mission opened the first hospital in Qatar in 1947, but the first governmental hospital, Al Rumayla, opened in 1957 and still operates today. It has been extensively renovated since its inception, but retains its status as Doha's oldest remaining hospital. Number 14. The FIFA World Cup 2022 Qatar marks plenty of historical firsts. The World Cup will be historic for a number of reasons, with Qatar becoming the smallest country and first Arab country ever to host the tournament. It will also be the first to be held during winter, and the first carbon-neutral World Cup, with an 800-megawatt solar energy plant being built to power the tournament, and all excess emissions offset with other projects. Number 15. The Doha Metro is Guinness World Record breaking. Hopping on board the Doha Metro is a great way to get around the city for less. But did you know the project is actually world record breaking? During construction, it was awarded a world record for the largest number of tunnel boring machines operating simultaneously in a single project. Try saying that 5 times faster. Number 16. At Al Wukair scrapyard, around 20,000 dust-covered vehicles stranded in the desert. In case you hadn't noticed, cars are kind of a big deal in Doha. So much so, that there are plans to build a Qatar Auto Museum along the 566 Expressway. And if you head to Al Wukair scrapyard, you'll find more than 20,000 abandoned vehicles, in various states of decay. Some have been mined for spare parts, while others are intact, and waiting to be collected by their owners. Qatar's national vision aims that, by 2030, Qatar becomes an advanced society capable of sustaining its development and providing a high standard of living for its people. Qatar's national vision defines the long-term goals for the country and provides a framework in which national strategies and implementation plans can be developed. With all of these plans and implementing projects in place, a sustainable Qatar is expected for the years to come. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Also press notification bell to notify you of any future similar videos. There's a valid justification why France is one of the most well-known tourist destinations on the planet. With its staggering design, wonderful open country, and delightful food, it has something for everybody. While Paris might be the most popular city in France, there are numerous other astonishing spots to visit too. There are many spots to visit in France. The food is tasty and there are a wide range of structures. It tends to be difficult to pick which one you need to go to first, yet it is significant on the grounds that France has such a lot of history. There are additionally a great deal of activities, such as eating croissants or visiting the Louvre Museum, which has a lot of popular works of art. So without further ado, here goes our 15 top tourist destinations in France which are an unquestionable requirement to visit. Number 1. Paris. The landmarks in Paris are basically perpetual, whether it's the Eiffel Tower or Arc de Triomphe, the two of which have propelled imitations everywhere, Disneyland Paris, Notre Dame Cathedral building, or Sacré-Cœur Basilica, you're certain to track down something that gets your attention. Yet, Paris is something other than its tourist spots. The city is bursting at the seams with culture, arts, and fashion. Among everything things you can manage in Paris is to join a transport visit or join a night voyage on the River Seine. You could go through days perusing the city's popular art galleries and historical centers, or shopping on the stylish Champs-Élysées. What's more, obviously, no excursion to Paris would be complete without attempting a portion of the city's prestigious cuisine. Number 2. Louvre Museum. The Louvre Museum is the biggest and seemingly the most popular historical center on the planet. It is situated in Paris, France, and is home to the absolute most well-known works of art on the planet, including the Mona Lisa. The site of the Louvre Exhibition Hall was initially a castle, worked in the late 12th century by King Philip II. This royal residence was added to throughout the long term, and in 1793, the Louvre was transformed into a public historical center. The museum is presently home to more than 380,000 artworks, including the Mona Lisa, the Venus de Milo, and the Winged Triumph of Samothrace. Number 3. Mont Saint-Michel. Mont Saint-Michel is a rough flowing island in Normandy, France. It is the most visited vacation destination in France after the Eiffel Tower and Notre Dame Paris. The island has been an essential fortification since the 8th century and a Benedictine monastery since the 11th century. The monastery was established by the Archangel Michael. The island has been associated with the central area starting around 1879 by a bridge. The island is best known for its Abbey of Saint Michel, which gets more than 3 million visitors every year. The Abbey is a significant journey site as well as a famous tourist destination. The monastery is perched on a rough outcrop and must be reached at low tide. It was underlying the Romanesque style in the 11th century and is a fine illustration of Norman engineering and architecture. Number 4. Chantilly Palace. Chantilly is a commune in the Oise department in the Hauts-de-France locale of northern France. It is found 25 miles, 40 kilometers, north of Paris. Chantilly is most popular as the site of the Château de Chantilly, a royal residence and estate which is currently open to the public. The château was built in 1528 by Pierre Bontemps, a secretary to François I. It turned into the property of Louis II de Bourbon, Prince de Condé in 1602. The Château de Chantilly is encircled by an enormous park that incorporates a racecourse, a green, and a deer park. There are likewise a few small villages nearby Chantilly, including Gouvier, Senlis, and Lassalle. These villages are all worth exploring once that you have the opportunity. Number 5. Château de Versailles. The Palace of Versailles is one more top fascination in France. This former illustrious castle was previously the home of French kings and queens for over 100 years. The palace is currently open to the general population and guests can explore the lavished interiors, manicured gardens, and stunning architecture. There is likewise a historical center nearby that features relics from the royal residence's set of experiences. The Palace of Versailles is located just outside of Paris. To get there, guests can take the RERC train from the Paris downtown area. The train ride requires about 30 minutes and drops guests off right at the palace gates. Number 6. Pont du Gard Roman Aqueduct and Garden of the Three Graces, Aigues-Mortes. The Pont du Gard is an old Roman water channel situated in the town of Nîmes in the south of France. It is perhaps of the best safeguarded Roman landmark on the planet and is a high-priority destination for anybody visiting the region. The Pont du Gard is a huge design traversing almost 50 meters and is made completely of limestone. The reservoir conduit provided water to the city of Nîmes and is a noteworthy amazing sight. There are a couple of different spots in the space that merit visiting. Simply a short stroll from the Pont du Gard is the Garden of the Three Graces, which is a wonderful park with exquisite nurseries and wellsprings. Number 7. Cirque de Gavarnie in Pyrenees Mountains. The Cirque de Gavarnie is a great site situated in the Pyrenees Mountains. A huge limestone amphitheater contains numerous waterfalls and is listed as a World Heritage Site. The recreation area is a delightful region traversing Spain and France and is loaded up with rich woodlands and valleys. There are many strolling ways to appreciate nearby, and it is a popular destination for pilgrims and nature lovers alike. There are numerous great activities close to the Cirque de Gavarnie. One of the most famous exercises is hiking, where you may join a hiking tour. There are numerous lovely paths that breeze through the woods and up into the mountains. There are likewise several villages situated nearby, which offer an opportunity to explore traditional French culture. Furthermore, obviously, the close-by spa towns offer an opportunity to unwind and revive. Number 8. Colmar. Would you like to visit Amsterdam or Venice without battling through repulsive sightseers with a more French flavor? Colmar is the response. This delightful fantasy town is situated in eastern France close to the German boundary and has been the motivation for some notable books and films, including Studio Ghibli's transformation of Howl's Moving Palace. The historically significant area in this city has lovely little structures that are conveniently aligned alongside its broad trench framework. Each construction in the town offers a waterfront view, and there are a few design milestones out of control, including St. Martin's Church and the Musée Bartholdi. It's basically similar to a mix of Paris, Venice, and Amsterdam, with its own special energy and wonderful verifiable safeguarding. What's more, assuming you love wine, Colmar is the ideal spot to be. It's situated in the Alsace district, a locale notable for its white wine production. There are several vineyards in and around the city that offer visits and tastings. Best of all, large numbers of these are free. Number 9. Strasbourg. Strasbourg is a noteworthy city with a rich culture and legacy situated in the core of the Alsace locale. It is situated on the line of France and Germany, making it a best of both worlds kind of city. There are many things to do in Strasbourg, like visiting the historic center, exploring the museums, or taking a boat ride on the river. Travelers ought to visit this city since it is a unique destination that offers a glimpse into the culture and history of both France and Germany. The old city of Strasbourg seems to be a Disney princess film set with thin cobblestone streets and canals. A Segway visit through the city makes it simpler to wander around the town. The Strasbourg church building is universally perceived as one of the best instances of Gothic design on the planet, and you can't miss it when you visit the city. It's quite possibly of the most popular and recognizable design around. Number 10. Avignon. Another particular French city is Avignon, which was previously the papal residence. For a long time, Avignon was home to the papacy, making it fairly like a little Vatican City inside France. The old town of Avignon is jam-packed with amazing designs that you won't find elsewhere in that frame of mind, to its city walls being saved. Generally speaking, there are 44 towers, 3 kilometers, 1.9 miles, of defenses, and 7 entryways that have been safeguarded from Avignon's archaic past. Avignon strolling visit and wine samplings are accessible that capitalize on the excursion to the city worth the effort. The Palais des Papes, which is the biggest Gothic castle in Europe, is all perhaps of the most well-known working in Avignon. The castle was built in the 14th century and was the home of 9 popes. Number 11. Cannes. Cannes is a well-known traveler destination in France. Cannes is best perceived for its yearly Cannes Film Celebration, which has acquired a standing as one of the most well-known extravagance escapes in the world. You might see VIPs, extremely rich people, and other notable people all through the year in Cannes. However, you're basically 100% sure to experience a superstar or two assuming that you visit during the celebration. Cannes is a lovely city with a lot to see and do, even beyond the film celebration. The Promenade de la Croisette is a ravishing walkway that runs along Cannes coastline. This is where you'll track down a considerable lot of the very good quality inns, restaurants, and shops that the city is known for. Number 12. The Loire Valley. The Loire Valley is perhaps of the most lovely spot in France and is a well-known destination for tourists. The valley is home to rolling vineyards, wineries, and beautiful villages. It is additionally known for its shocking palaces, including the Château de Chambord and the Château de Chenonceau. Partake in a directed visit and find out about the valley on your visit. On the off chance that you're searching for a heartfelt escape, the Loire Stream Valley is the ideal spot. There are a lot of exercises to appreciate as a team, including wine sampling, picnicking in the grape plantations, and visiting the palaces. Marseille has the absolute most unmistakable verifiable design in all of France, and you could go through weeks simply meandering around it. Number 13. Chamonix. Chamonix is in the French Alps, and it has a similar topography to Switzerland. Chamonix is a city that's constantly buzzing with tourists, as it's one of the most famous ski resorts in the world. The city is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its natural features and history. Chamonix is also the site of the world's first Winter Olympics, which happened back in 1924. It is often considered one of the best winter sports regions in the entire world. Chamonix is home to some of Europe's most beautiful views. In the summer, it's a sight to see the green forests, large meadows, snow-capped peaks, and everything coming together in an amazing way. Everyone should put this on their bucket list. Number 14. Lyon. Lyon is often referred to as the gastronomic capital of France, and it's easy to see why. This amazing tourist destination is home to a number of Michelin-starred restaurants, as well as a huge range of traditional bouchons, bistros. Lyon is called the original Hollywood because it also houses the world's oldest film studios, dating back to 1896. There are a few movie museums in Lyon, as well as the annual Lyon Film Festival. Lyon has a number of festivals throughout the year, including Fête des Lumières, Festival of Lights, which takes place at the end of each year and celebrates the arrival of spring. The entire city is illuminated in sparkling lights during the festival, producing one of the world's most spectacular visual spectacles when viewed from a tall building or hill. Number 15. Bordeaux. Bordeaux is a city located on France's western coast, near its border with Spain. The city is often referred to as the Paris of the West, owing to its magnificent architecture and historic structures. There are numerous castles, forts, and other historical monuments spread throughout the region, including 350 national heritage sites within or nearby the city. When you explore the city's old sections, you'll feel as if you've been transported to another time period or a huge open-air museum. The Grand Théâtre de Bordeaux, Place de la Bourse, and Les Halles de Tunis are some of the city's finest historic monuments. In the Bordeaux region, the wine industry is by far the most important sector in the city. There are many huge vineyards all around the city, and it's often called the world's wine capital. The incredible Bordeaux cuisine, which is so tasty that top chefs frequently relocate their businesses from tourist trap Paris to Bordeaux, goes with the wine. As a result, it's often regarded one of the finest fine dining spots in France, making it one of the best places to visit in France for foodies. France is an eminent country for its picturesque villages, dazzling cathedrals, and perpetually lovely countryside. No big surprise, it's one of the most famous tourist destinations on the planet. From the staggering engineering to the tasty food, you should visit France something like once in the course of your life. And keeping in mind that Paris might be the most popular city in France, there are numerous other astounding spots to visit also. Here are the most ideal getaway spots in France that you'll fall head over heels for. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Also press notification bell to notify you of any future similar videos. What amount do you truly be aware of Austria? Situated at the core of Europe, the nation has a rich and shifted history, and an interesting future. To assist you with finding more about this enrapturing nation, we've assembled a rundown of our favorite Austrian facts. From skiing to schnapps, here are a few enlightening and intriguing bits of insight that may very well shock you. In the event that you're moving to Austria, this present time is a decent opportunity to more deeply study your new home, and an extraordinary spot to begin is with these 12 fascinating facts about Austria. Number 1. An Eastern kingdom with one of the world's oldest flags. The official English name for the nation is the Republic of Austria, yet where does this name start? The word Austria really comes from the country's German name, Österreich. This signifies Eastern Kingdom in German, or Eastern Empire. Assuming you're in Austria, you'll most likely gone over the famous red and white stripes of the country's public banner. Curiously, albeit the genuine date stays challenged, the banner is remembered to trace all the way back to the 12th century. As allegedly, the red represents the blood spilled by Duke Leopold V at the Siege of Acre. Certainly one of the gorier realities about Austria. Number 2. Austria has no coastline but does have the blue Danube. In the same way as other of its focal European neighbors, Austria is altogether landlocked. Without a doubt, while limits and boundaries have moved throughout the long term, cutting-edge Austria borders a noteworthy 8 different nations. These are Germany, Czechia, Slovakia, Hungary, Slovenia, Italy, Liechtenstein, and Switzerland. It might not have a coastline, but you'll still find a cluster of beach bars in Vienna, alongside the banks of the mighty river Danube. Europe's second longest river twists through the north of the country, taking in Linz and historic Tulln before reaching the capital. The majestic river inspired local composer Johann Strauss II to write his famous waltz, The Blue Danube. Number 3. Most of the country is mountainous with plenty of mountain activities. While the northern parts of Austria are genuinely level, a significant part of the rest is rugged in nature. As a matter of fact, the wonderful Austrian Alps cover an incredible 62% of the country. The most noteworthy top among this large number of mountains is the Grossglockner, sitting at an amazing 3,798 meters. You'll require your strolling boots to climb these realities about Austria. With this multitude of mountains, any reasonable person would agree that Austria is a heaven for the individuals who love nature. In summer, the slopes are buzzing with the sound of climbers taking in the country's extravagant mountains and valleys. There are north of 2,000 significant distance climbs to look over, a large number of which cover Austria's 50,000 kilometers of mountain ways. At the point when winter comes, local people and guests the same take to the slants. Austria has a family-accommodating skiing society, with north of 7,000 kilometers of runs and a comfortable après-ski scene. The country's well-known winter sports objective, Innsbruck, likewise has the pleasure of being one of only 3 urban communities to have the Winter Olympics at least a couple of times, in 1964 and 1976. Number 4. A leader in renewable energy and imperial power. Austria certainly takes full advantage of its sloping territory with regards to environmentally friendly power energy creation. Truth be told, around 80% of the power produced in the nation comes from sustainable sources, overwhelmingly by means of hydroelectric dams. As well as being one of the more practical realities about Austria, this makes it simpler than any time in recent memory to drive your home with environmentally friendly power energy. Austria's vainglorious capital, Vienna, is the previous seat of the powerful Habsburg Empire. When quite possibly of Europe's most significant magnificent power, the Habsburgs ruled Austria from 1276 until the end of World War I. The abundance and significance of the realm can in any case be seen today in the numerous rich castles, theaters, and historical centers in Vienna. Number 5. Austria was annexed during World War II and didn't gain independence until 1955. Following the breakdown of the Habsburg Empire in 1919, the Austrian Republic was framed. Be that as it may, this didn't keep going long. Following the ascent to force of Austrian-born Adolf Hitler in adjoining Germany, pressures in Austria started to develop. Austria was at last added into Nazi Germany in mid-1938, compelling a large part of the neighborhood Jewish populace to escape their home. In the prompt result of the United Triumph in 1945, Austria was parted into 4 occupation zones. Like Germany toward the north, these were occupied by the US, the Soviet Union, France, and the United Kingdom. These occupation zones stayed set up until 1955 when Austria acquired independence. Number 6. Peaking around the Iron Curtain and joined EU in 1995. It very well might be tranquil and quiet nowadays, however Austria was once at the very front of Cold War strains between the US and the Soviet Union. This is because of the Iron Curtain, the limit among East and West Europe that incorporated Austria's eastern boundaries. Vienna sat barely 40 kilometers from this much challenged geopolitical division. Austria joined the European Association on January 1, 1995, alongside Sweden and Finland. Prior to holding a confirmed mandate, the nation had been viewed as doubtful about joining the exchanging coalition. Be that as it may, because of its protected resistance to military coalitions, Austria stays one of only a handful of exceptional EU individuals to not be essential for NATO. Number 7. The home of classical composers including Mozart. One of Europe's leading cultural centers throughout the centuries, Austria is likewise the origin of numerous extraordinary composers. Franz Schubert, Joseph Haydn, Gustav Mahler, and a lot more have called the country house throughout the long term. Guests can partake in their work at one of Vienna's extravagant concert halls. Of the relative multitude of numerous incredible Austrian composers, the most well-known is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Brought into the world in Salzburg in 1756, the prodigal youthful artist went through numerous years voyaging Europe, engaging the mainland's eminence and gentry. Mozart composed over 600 works all through his life, and his experience growing up home is quite possibly of the most well-known museums in Austria. Number 8. It's the birthplace of psychoanalysis and the Terminator. Despite the fact that he was brought into the world in what is presently Czechia, it was only after he shown up in Vienna that Sigmund Freud started his investigation of the human brain. The pioneer behind present-day analysis lived and worked in the city for a long time around the turn of the 20th century, becoming popular for his notable work in the field of psychotherapy. Notwithstanding the nation's sparkling past, for some, the most renowned Austrian is unified with a straightforward expression, "I'll be back." Arnold Schwarzenegger was brought into the world close to Graz in 1947. He acquired overall distinction by turning into a weightlifter, prior to moving into Hollywood motion pictures and afterward politics. He was governor of California for a long time from 2003. Fans of the star can visit his life as a youngster home in Graz and investigate a gold mine of memorabilia crossing his profession in weight training, films, and politics. Number 9. Coffee culture is a big deal in Vienna and so are books. During Vienna's golden age, the neighborhood bistro scene saw a portion of the 20th century's most powerful figures. The vaulted Café Central was visited by Hitler, Leon Trotsky, and Josip Broz Tito, among others. A couple of roads away, The exquisite Café Landmann was the choice of Freud, Mahler, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. The cafes are still a must-see today, for coffee and Sachertorte. Book lovers in Vienna will almost certainly need to visit the Austrian National Library, one of the biggest on the planet. The library contains more than 2 million books tracing all the way back to the 14th century. It is housed inside the great ornate State Hall of the elegant Hofburg, the postcard-prepared previous Habsburg castle in central Vienna. Number 10. A micronation in an amusement park and the oldest zoo in the world. One popular Austrian you may not know is craftsman Edwin Lippberger, the founding father of one of our favorite facts about Austria, the micronation Kugelmugel. Situated in the memorable Prater amusement park, the Republic Kugelmugel came about following a dispute between Lippberger and local authorities. Lippberger passed on in 2015, but Kugelmugel stays a well-known vacation spot. In the rambling grounds of the Schönbrunn royal residence sits the Tiergarten Schönbrunn, the oldest zoo on the planet. Laid out as a magnificent zoo back in 1752, the zoo actually invites sightseers from around the world. There are north of 700 species at the zoo, yet the most well-known inhabitants are without a doubt the giant pandas. Number 11. Austrians love the sound of music but not the sound of music. Closed by their noteworthy backlist of well-known composers, Austria is an exceptionally musical country. From the renowned yodeling that has for quite some time been well known in the country mountain regions, to a blossoming underground electronic scene in Vienna, there's something for everybody. Austria likewise won the Eurovision Song Contest back in 2014, with a melody from Conchita Wurst. For some outsiders, their most memorable taste of Austrian life gets through the 1965 Hollywood musical, The Sound of Music. The film actually carries fans to the slopes close to Salzburg, where it was filmed. In any case, local people aren't fans. In actuality, a fascinating reality about Austria is that many despise the film's generalizations and numerous authentic mistakes. One thing's without a doubt, it's certainly not on the rundown of their favorite things. Number 12. Locals like to pig out at New Year and love their schnapps. As custom directs, Austrians celebrate the new year with pigs, an image of best of luck. A few families set up a nursing pig banquet to celebrate what many allude to as Sylvester, after the Holy Person's Day. It's not simply pork, all things considered. Smaller than normal pigs of marzipan, chocolate, and more are shared as a feature of the festivals. This is uplifting news for any veggie lovers. And certainly our most delightful reality about Austria. Obviously, no Austrian party is finished without a glass or two of schnapps. Famous all through Europe's snow-capped nations, the neighborhood drink is an unmistakable, new delicious natural product liquor that fresh debuts will before long get a preference for. On the off chance that you're toasting in Austria, make sure to visually connect as you say, Prost, as it's misfortune on the off chance that you don't. As these facts show, Austria is a brilliantly varied country. There are a lot of charming places to live in Austria settled across the rich scene. Numerous expats will make the capital their new home, and seeing why is simple. Vienna is frequently positioned among the best urban areas on the planet for personal satisfaction, beating out everyone else in 2019. So any place you choose to settle, you can anticipate snatching some schnapps and saying, Prost, to your astonishing life in the Eastern Kingdom. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Also press notification bell to notify you of any future similar videos. Argentina covers the whole southeastern of South America and part of the Tierra del Fuego archipelago. It neighbors Chile in the west, Bolivia and Paraguay in the north, Brazil and Uruguay in the northeast. The Atlantic Ocean washes the nation's east coast. It is the second biggest country on the land mass after Brazil. The tremendous region extends along the meridian, addressing practically all scene zones, from plains and mountains to deserts and jungles. The Andes, one of the longest and most noteworthy mountain frameworks on the planet, goes through the country. In the South Andes, there is additionally the most noteworthy pinnacle of Aconcagua, the guardian of time. This mountain is an extinct volcano, with more than 7,000 meters in height. Climbers from everywhere the world come to overcome it. Argentina will amuse explorers with glorious and various scenes, serious mountain tops covered with everlasting snow, icy masses, lakes, cascades, tropical woodlands, and semi-deserts of Patagonia and Puna. Did you know that Argentina produced the world's first animated film? If no, us neither. This list of facts about Argentina will keep you clued up and also make you realize why you need to visit this amazing country. So without further ado, here are our favorite 15 interesting and fun facts about Argentina. Number 1. Argentina produced the world's first animated film in 1917. Move over Disney, there's one more incredible artist that couple of us have even known about. The primary full-length animation was made by Quirino Cristiani in 1917. The 70-minute film El Apostle recounted the account of elevated degrees of defilement and unethical behavior in Argentina at that point. Cristiani said he was roused to make the film after a gathering with Walt Disney himself during his visit through Latin America. The film was made utilizing pattern activity and it was by and large generally welcomed. In any case, its time on the planet was brief since it was lost in apartment fire in 1928. Number 2. Yerba mate tea is the most popular drink in Argentina. With regards to renowned South American beverages, you'll be hard-pushed to find something more notable than yerba mate. In the event that you visit Argentina, you'll continually see individuals tasting this caffeine-implanted drink through a metal straw known as a bombilla. Named as the national drink, the Argentinians are obsessed with mate and even have a yearly day of festivity in its distinction on November 30th. Something other than an invigorating refreshment, Argentinians have integrated mate drinking into their social scene and the beverage is passed around between companions. Unfortunately for guests to the country, there are a ton of rules encompassing the manners of mate drinking. They can be a battle to get your head around, so ensure you have perused of our article on yerba mate to ensure you know how to mix in with local people. Number 3. The capital of Argentina, Buenos Aires, translates to good airs or fair winds. As you'd expect, There has been a lot of discussion about how Buenos Aires got its name, yet the agreement shows that it came from the appearance of the Spanish conquerors in the 16th century. One of these men, Pedro de Mendoza, was liable for laying out and naming the port town of Buenos Aires. He was a fan of Saint Nick Maria del Buen Air, the Virgin Mary of Good Air. This specific arm of Catholicism has its foundations on the Italian island of Sardinia. Here a sculpture of the Virgin Mary sits on a tall slope. It is accounted for that during the 14th century, this ridge was the main spot to get away from the smell of the bogs underneath. Subsequently the name, Good Air. Number 4. Argentina is known for its tender beef. Beef is a necessary piece of Argentinian food, and the nation is covered with steakhouses, privately known as parrillas, simply holding on to serve you up a delicious section of meat. Argentine beef has become so popular that it is served the world over, known for its delicacy. Asados, reasonable referred to you as barbecue grills, mean a lot to Argentine culture and proposition an opportunity for loved ones to get up to speed over supper. As well as beef highlighting on the barbecue, you are additionally liable to see ribs, pork and chicken. Yearly utilization of beef across the nation over in 2020 worked out to be 49.7 kilograms per individual, and while this looks unreasonable, it is really a notable low for the country. This could be expected to some extent to the coronavirus emergency, which estimated those on lower salaries out of the meat market, yet in addition dietary changes comparable to the environment emergency. The most noteworthy beef utilization kept in Argentina was in 1956, where it hit 100.8 kilograms per individual. Geez, that is a ton of meat. Number 5. Argentina's most famous freedom fighter Che Guevara's name was actually Ernesto Guevara. As a youngster, Che knew about being called Ernestito, signifying little Ernest. Be that as it may, when he was more seasoned, he procured his name Che due to his incessant utilization of the articulation. This Argentine infusion signifies mate or man in local Spanish. It is likewise utilized in Uruguay and portions of Brazil. Number 6. Government officials banned parents from naming their children Messi in the football star's hometown. Discussing Argentina and not notice football is essentially unthinkable. All things considered, Argentina are standard World Cup competitors, having won the competition 2 times, and have likewise delivered a portion of the world's best footballers. Unbelievable athlete Lionel Messi has propelled millions across the world, and no place more so than in his old neighborhood of Rosario in Argentina. After occupant Hector Varela named his child after the soccer star, government authorities prohibited guardians from naming their youngsters after Messi, agonizing over disarray later down the line, assuming the name was to turn out to be excessively in vogue. Number 7. Argentina is the home of tango. Apparently perhaps of the most renowned Latin American dance, the tango is known for its enthusiasm and power. The dance began in the capital Buenos Aires during the 19th century and was initially acted in the unfortunate region of the Docklands. Accordingly, numerous porteños peered downward on the dance, trusting it to be humble and repulsive. This ultimately different, however, and tango went worldwide, turning into a social peculiarity broadly inseparable from Argentina. There are various spots the nation over to watch the Argentine tango. El Beso and Piazzolla Tango are 2 of the most well-known choices. In the event that you'd like to cut a couple of states of your own, there is additionally the choice to book a couple of illustrations. Number 8. 97% of Argentinians have European roots. Italians who communicate in Spanish and believe they're English living in Paris. That is the manner by which the Argentinians were once depicted. It kind of makes sense, however, when you check their legacy heritage out. Of the 97% of Argentinians who have European heritage, by far most of them slide from Spaniards or Italians. This is a result of the Spanish colonization of Argentina and the mass movement from Europe which started around the mid-19th century. Number 9. The name Argentina derives from the Latin word for silver. Argentum is the Latin word for silver, and it is from this that the country adopted its name. It is believed that this name was chosen due to the history of the European conquerors coming to South America in order to mine the precious metal that they had heard so much about. Although there are countries across the continent that are home to more silver than Argentina, they still get their fair share. Number 10. The remains of the largest known dinosaur were discovered in Argentina. In 2008, the remaining parts of a Patagonitan mayorum were coincidentally found by a Patagonian farm worker. The dinosaur, which at the time was the biggest at any point found, was remembered to have lived during the late Cretaceous time frame. In any case, since the disclosure of Patagonian mayorum in 2008, further remaining parts were uncovered in the Neuquén province, Argentina in 2012. As indicated by Live Science, the remaining parts have still not been totally uncovered. Notwithstanding, the bones that have been unearthed highlight this being the biggest dinosaur at any point found on the planet. Number 11. Pope Francis once worked as a nightclub bouncer in Buenos Aires. The first ever pope to be born in the Americas was Pope Francis, a Porteño born to Italian parents. After his appointment to the highest position within the Catholic Church, interest in his personal life started to grow, which led to the revelation that he had previously worked as a nightclub bouncer in his home city of Buenos Aires. Number 12. Football legend Maradona has inspired a church. With regards to heavenly figures in Argentina, Maradona sits straight up there close to the Virgin Mary and the Pope. Generally known for his "Hand of God" objective against Britain in the 1986 World Cup, Maradona's frantic football abilities roused such marvel that a church and religion has been made in his name. The church, situated in the city of Rosario, was opened in 1998 by a little assortment of Maradona fans. The religion has been thoroughly examined, and it even has its own arrangement of 10 commandments, including, "Name your first son Diego," and "The ball is never soiled." In the Maradonian Church, their hero is referred to as D10S. This is a fusion of the Spanish for God, Dios, and the number 10, which Maradona famously sported on his football shirt. Number 13. Argentina went through 5 presidents in just 10 days. During the Argentine financial emergency in 2001, the nation experienced perhaps of its haziest time. Financial balances should have been frozen and the Argentine peso dove in esteem. Thus, individuals of Argentina went into revolt. Fierce fights occurred all around the nation, and tragically, various individuals were killed. Because of this agitation, the president at the time surrendered and resigned. Starting here onwards, there was a lot of political instability, and a further 4 presidents assumed control over the job in the resulting 10 days following the renunciation of President Fernando de la Rúa. Number 14. Previously, Britain had helped to make Argentina one of the richest countries in the world. Old English-Argentinian relations weren't awful all the time. In the mid-20th century, England assisted Argentina with accomplishing its rich status. Financial backers and transients fabricated the nation's rail routes, began the principal football club and, surprisingly, opened the solitary Harrods retail chain outside the UK in 1912. By 1913, Argentina had a higher pay per capita than Germany, France, Italy and Spain. Truth be told, on this premise, it was close to as rich as Canada. Number 15. The first ever use of fingerprinting for identification happened in Argentina in 1892. At the point when the offspring of Argentine Francesca Rojas were seen as wounded to death in their home, their mom told police she figured the killer might be a man whose advances she had earlier rejected. The man being referred to was captured and ceaselessly tormented for his admission. In any case, he kept up with his innocence. Juan Vucetic, who was responsible for criminal ID, proposed utilizing an extremist new procedure to source additional data from the crime location. Subsequent to finding that a ridiculous unique mark could never have had a place with the blamed man and looked rather to be from Rojas herself, the police got back to grill her and she presently admitted she had killed her youngsters trying to work with marriage with her sweetheart, who hated them. This early utilization of fingerprinting was the impetus for a time of quick scientific disclosure which actually helps examiners right up to the present day. When planning a trip, it is worth taking into account the climate peculiarities of different destinations. It would be better to schedule a visit to Buenos Aires in March, April or September, October when there is no extreme heat and humidity is quite low. Iguazu Falls is worth visiting from April to September when the rains are over, but the water level is still high. You can go to Patagonia in December, January, and February. During the other months, the weather here can please, perhaps, only the thrill seekers. Enjoy your next vacation. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Also press notification bell to notify you of any future similar videos. Spain actually rules as perhaps one of the most sought-after tourist destinations in Europe. Simply consider other common Moorish royal residences, intriguing middle-aged towns, rich public parks, and elite galleries where one can wonder at masterpieces by Picasso and Salvador Dali. The variety of things to see and do in Spain is so brilliantly wide that you'll experience no difficulty topping off your schedule. Indeed, even local people haven't depleted everything to do there. And keeping in mind that it can require years, or even a lifetime, to really investigate each edge of this astonishing country, there are not many attractions that guests will generally lean toward. Planning down what to do on your next trip to Spain? Then check our list of the 14 top tourist attractions you must not miss in this country. Number 1. La Sagrada Familia, Barcelona. Often considered one of the most beautiful buildings in the world, La Sagrada Familia is a must-see attraction for anyone visiting Barcelona. Designed by the acclaimed Catalan architect Antoni Gaudí, this magnificent cathedral boasts of 3 gorgeous facades representing parts of the life of Christ. Embellished with columns representing branching trees, and multicolored stained glass windows, the interiors of the church resemble a magical forest. Thanks to its sheer beauty and cultural importance, the building is the perfect synthesis of Gaudí's architectural evolution. La Sagrada Familia was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2005. Number 2. Royal Palace, Palacio Real, Madrid. The Royal Palace, Palacio Real, is the official home of the Spanish imperial family in Madrid, albeit presently utilized exclusively for state functions. Based on the site of the old Alcazar, the Moorish palace, which was obliterated by fire in 1734, the imperial royal residence takes guests on an excursion through Spain's set of experiences. Truth be told, the old city wall around this area can in any case be seen. Containing more than 3,000 rooms and underlying the type of a square, the charming Palacio Genuine was roused by portraits made by Bernini for the development of the Louvre Historical Center, Paris. While wandering your direction through the structure, the biggest functioning royal palace in Europe, you'll coincidentally find a ravishing flight of stairs planned by Sabatini, a lofty position corridor highlighting a roof painted by Tiepolo, and the imperial ordnance, which houses weapons and shield worn by the lords of Spain since the 13th century. Another must-visit room in the royal palace residence is the painting gallery, home to works of Caravaggio, Velázquez, and Goya. Number 3. Santiago de Compostela Cathedral. Built in 1075 during the rule of Alfonso VI, the Santiago de Compostela Archcathedral Basilica is quite possibly one of the main religious buildings in Spain. Beside being the presumed entombment spot of Saint James the Great, the messenger of Jesus Christ, the basilica is likewise a verifiable journey site that denotes the end of the Camino de Santiago route. The whole city of Santiago de Compostela, coincidentally, merits investigating. Capital of the independent local area of Galicia, in northwestern Spain, the city envelopes a beautiful mix of middle-age apartments. In there, make certain to visit the Old Town, an UNESCO World Heritage Site that houses an assortment of Romanesque, Gothic, and Baroque buildings. Number 4. Ciudad de las Artes y las Ciencias, Valencia. Viewed as one of the 12 treasures of Spain, Ciutat de les Arts y les Sciences is one of the primary attractions of Valencia. This social and structural complex was created to get more the travel industry to the city, and it before long became one of Valencia's most immediately unmistakable landmarks. Entirely planned by the Spanish draftsmen Santiago Calatrava and Felix Candela, this cutting-edge and eye-popping complex required almost 10 years to be completed. The City of Arts and Sciences houses an intelligent exhibition hall of science, Museu de les Sciences Príncipe Felipe, an IMAX cinema, planetarium and laserium, l'Hemisphérique, an opera house and performing arts center, Palau de les Arts Reina Sofia, the biggest oceanographic aquarium in Europe, l'Oceanographic, and other futuristic structures. Number 5. Guggenheim Museum, Bilbao. Culture buffs will never get bored in Spain, as the country has a number of fabulous museums covering a wide range of subjects. If you want to catch a glimpse of precious contemporary art pieces, don't pass up the chance to visit the Guggenheim Museum Bilbao, in the Basque Country. Designed by Canadian-American architect Frank Gehry, the museum is a masterpiece of contemporary architecture. Inside, you'll find a dazzling collection of approximately 600 artworks that were given to the museum by businessman and collector Solomon Guggenheim between 1937 and 1949. Masterpieces by Mark Rothko, Jeff Koons, and Richard Serra make the Guggenheim Museum Bilbao one of the top cultural experiences in Spain. Number 6. Plaza de España, Seville. Encircled by the verdant grounds of the Maria Luisa Park, Plaza de España is perhaps of the most superb square in all Spain. This lovely plaza was built in 1928 for the Ibero-American article of 1929 and designed by the acclaimed Seville draftsman Aníbal González. The semi-roundabout Plaza de España joins components of the Baroque Revival, Renaissance Revival, and Moorish Restoration styles of Spanish engineering, and outlined by a column of structures are utilized as government buildings. The plaza likewise includes a canal, which guests can voyage. Number 7. Plaza Mayor, Salamanca. If you were impressed by the beauty of Plaza de España, just wait until you visit the Plaza Mayor, in Salamanca. Nestled in the heart of the city and built between 1729 and 1755, the plaza is known as one of the most beautiful in Europe thanks to its grandeur and intricacy in decoration. Dotted with sandstone buildings, the entire old city of Salamanca, by the way, was declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO, and it's worth exploring during a trip to Spain. Number 8. El Escorial, San Lorenzo de El Escorial. Nestled in the foothills of the Sierra de Guadarrama, the Escorial is a grand building complex located in San Lorenzo de El Escorial, near Madrid. Considered one of the most important constructions of the Spanish Renaissance, the complex was conceived by King Philip II, who wanted a building to serve the multiple purposes of a burial place for his father, Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. Constructed between 1563 and 1584, the Escorial includes a church, a monastery, royal palace, and college, and a library, and was decorated by many notable Spanish and Italian artists. While snooping around the buildings, expect to marvel at several artistic treasures, including frescoes by Pellegrino Tibaldi and Federico Zuccaro, 6 statues of Old Testament kings on the facade of the basilica, and manicured gardens. Number 9. Picos de Europa, Asturias. Adventure seekers who are traveling to northern Spain should include a visit to Picos de Europa on their bucket list. Spread across the provinces of Asturias, Cantabria, and Leon, the Picos de Europa National Park is filled with oak and beech groves, meadows, lakes, mountains, and gorges. Visitors can explore the park through its more than 30 routes, and marvel at the local nature at one of the park's scenic viewpoints. Number 10. Seville Cathedral, Seville. Welcome to the Cathedral of St. Mary of the Sea, the largest Gothic cathedral in the world and one of the most visited tourist attractions in Spain. Better known as Seville Cathedral, the church was built over a century, from 1401 to 1506, and it's famous for being home to the tomb of Christopher Columbus, which contains the remains of the great explorer. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage, the cathedral features some impressive details like a beautiful courtyard, Patio de los Naranjos, that dates back to the Moorish era, and the Giralda, which was the tallest building in the city for over 800 years. Number 11, Jerez de la Frontera, Andalusia. 56 miles south of Seville lies the charismatic city of Jerez de la Frontera, or simply Jerez. This hidden gem located in the Andalusia region is a must-visit destination for offbeat travelers who want to uncover the lesser-known marvels of Spain. Jerez has a charming old town, and several worth-seeing landmarks like the Moorish fortress, the San Salvador Cathedral, and the 11th and 12th century Moorish Alcazar. Jerez is also known for its sherry production, and it's home to a lip-smacking collection of local bars, the Tabancos, that specialize in the city's signature tipple. Number 12. Prado Museum, Madrid. Dating back almost 200 years, the Prado Museum, officially known as Museo Nacional del Prado, is the main national art museum in Spain. Set in a gorgeous building designed by architect Juan de Villanueva in 1785, the museum is home to more than 2,300 paintings. Aside from sculptures, prints, and drawings, Prado is one of the most thorough art museums in Europe, and it's worth visiting if you'd like to catch a glimpse of masterpieces by Picasso, Velázquez, Goya, and El Greco. Number 13. The Great Mosque of Córdoba, Córdoba. Once a temple to the Roman god, Janus, the site was converted into a mosque and completely rebuilt by the descendants of Umayyads, the first Islamic dynasty who had ruled from their capital Damascus, in present-day Syria, from 661 until 750. The mosque, which was converted into a Christian cathedral in the 13th century, boasts an artfully crafted decoration, countless pillars like rows of palm trees, a Renaissance-style bell tower, white marble details, Byzantine-style mosaics, and other eye-popping features. Number 14. Palma Cathedral, Palma de Mallorca. Constructed at the place where the Arabian main mosque stood during the time of the Moors, the Cathedral of Santa Maria of Palma, Cathedral of Saint Mary of Palma, is a true symbol of Palma de Mallorca. This Gothic Roman Catholic cathedral, also called l'ISCU or Cathedral of Light, awes visitors not only with its fascinating past but also its alluring details and features. The church boasts a massive rosette with more than 1,200 pieces of colored glass composed into patterns and floral ornaments, and an impressive central nave that is one the tallest in Europe. From its rich Moorish past and its situation as the world's superpower during the Golden Age, to the revulsions of the Spanish Civil War, tyranny, and the country's fruitful return to democracy, Spain has a captivating history that is very much saved in its buildings and exhibition halls. Visiting Córdoba's mosque, one of the most outstanding instances of Moorish design on the planet, you get a genuine feeling of the influence and innovativeness of Spain's Islamic rulers, and the rich heritage they have presented to modern Spain. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Also press notification bell to notify you of any future similar videos. Is it safe to say that you are energetic in picking up fascinating and fun realities about Germany? In this video, you will get more familiar with this great country otherwise called Deutschland. Germany is a socially and generally rich country. It is home to a great many traditions as well as lovely landscapes, forested slopes, cold mountains, stream valleys, and then some. And so on, the nation has it. Each region of this focal European nation is an unquestionable requirement: the laid-back city of Munich, the Romanesque design of Cologne, the noteworthy Berlin, the cutting-edge horizon of Frankfurt, the fabulous Dresden, the rundown continues forever. And really, Germany brings a ton to the table to its guests and occupants. On the off chance that you are keen on getting more familiar with German culture, learn German and its extremely fun words. Figure out what makes this nation so exceptional. Is it due to its food? Is it due to its music? Is it due to its set of experiences? Is it due to its kin? Or on the other hand, is it due to a mixed bag of things that makes Germany a position of exceptional somethings for you? There is more going on behind the scenes that makes this beautiful nation so wonderful. So at whatever point you're prepared, go on an outing to Germany and enjoy the different German culture. However, for the time being, here are pieces for you to bite on. 20 interesting and fun facts about Germany. 1. The largest train station in Europe is in Berlin. Berlin Hauptbahnhof, the 5-story railroad station, was a 10-year development project. Yet, you can find the extensive train station in Berlin. Situated in Leipzig, Germany, the Leipzig Hauptbahnhof is the greatest railroad station in Europe with regards to floor region. The rail line station spreads across an area of 83,460 square meters. The rail line station has 19 stages that are housed inside 6 iron sheds. 2 underground stages are additionally present. The exterior of the station is 298 meters in length. A staggered concourse is likewise present here. The Leipzig stations serve around 120,000 travelers consistently. 2. Berlin is 9 times bigger than Paris. Topographically, it's really immense. To place it into point of view, Berlin is 9 times greater than Paris, has more bridges than Venice and geographically similar size as Bangkok. One of those booming urban communities with new things to find each opportunity you visit is Berlin. Regardless of whether you remain there for quite a long time, you probably won't get to do all that you needed to. That is chiefly because of how colossal it is. With more than 3.5 million occupants, it's by a long shot the greatest city in Germany. The city flaunts numerous popular milestones like Museum Island, TV Tower, Berlin Wall Memorial, Bode Museum, the Memorial to the Murdered Jews of Europe, and Berliner Fernsehturm. It's suggested you stay something like 3 days in Berlin to investigate a couple of the significant sites. 3. There are more than 20,000 castles in Germany. Germany is home to more than 20,000 castles. Most of these castles are more than 100 years old and have been transformed into exhibition halls, museums, lodgings, hotels, or social centers. The most well-known and maybe the most lovely castle in Germany is the Neuschwanstein Castle. It is situated in the Bavarian Alps and was implicit the 19th century under King Ludwig II. 4. Germany is the EU's largest economy. The economy of the European Union is the joint economy of the part conditions of the European Union, EU. It is the 3rd biggest economy on the planet in ostensible terms, after the US and China, and the 3rd one in purchasing power parity, PPP, terms, after China and the US. The European Association's gross domestic product assessed to be around $16.6 trillion in 2022, addressing around 1/6 of the worldwide economy. Germany's gross domestic product is over 3.3 trillion euros, making it the biggest economy in the European Association. 5. The German language has 35 dialects. German is a diverse language and it has around 35 provincial vernaculars. A portion of the top lingos are High German, Bavarian, Middle German, Low German, Frisian, and Alemannic. German vernaculars are the different customary neighborhood assortments of the German language. However changed by locale, those of the southern portion of Germany underneath the Ben-Rath line are overwhelmed by the geological spread of the High German consonant shift, and the lingo continuum that associates German to the adjoining assortments of Low Franconian, Dutch, and Frisian. 6. Beer is considered as food in the Bavaria region. Beer is a significant nutrition group in Germany, thus in the Bavaria locale lager is considered as food. What is viewed as the Germans' public beverage is the staple food in Bavaria, beer, likewise called fluid bread. No big surprise that a customary Bavarian Weisswurst breakfast incorporates sweet mustard and a pretzel, and obviously the fundamental wheat lager. As indicated by Bavarian fables, this generous breakfast should be consumed before 12 early afternoon, if not you will be denied admittance to the Weisswurst veal wiener paradise. We make quick work of the legends encompassing Bavarian brew and begin with the toast that is standard in this country, Hopfen und Malz, Gott erhalt's, may God save the jumps and malt. 7. There are more than 1,000 kinds of sausages in Germany. Something else that Germany is popular for is sausages. So don't be astounded about the way that there are more than 1,000 sausage assortments in Deutschland. There are many different German sausages, so to all the more likely comprehend them it would be helpful to know how they are arranged and named. The German sausages are named by the strategy for creation, aging and drying or cooking, the kind of meat, filler material or zest utilized, the locale or the city in which sausages were made. With all due credit given to Greeks and Romans who were the initial ones to make sausages, the undisputed truth stays that Germany with its north of 1,000 varieties stays as the world's sausage capital. 8. Germany has more than 3,000 kinds of bread. Bread is a critical piece of German cooking, with the biggest bread variety on the planet. Around 300 sorts of breads and 1,200 various types of cakes and rolls are delivered in around 17,000 pastry kitchens and another 10,000 in-shop bread kitchens. The endless assortment of bread and rolls in Germany is amazing. It depends on various grains, wheat or rye, unadulterated or in all potential combinations with oat, spelt, buckwheat, linseed as well as millet, coarse or finely ground flours, changing aging, sourdough/yeast, and baking strategies, as well as shapes and flavors as nuts, seeds, or flavors, all created through unambiguous provincial circumstances. You probably won't have the foggiest idea about this yet. One more key image of Germany is bread. The nation has over 3,000 bread assortments. 9. The Christmas tree tradition came from Germany. It is claimed that in Germany around 723 AD, the English minister Saint Boniface encountered pagans setting up a penance at an oak tree devoted to the god Thor, Donner. Boniface took a hatchet to the tree, and, when not struck somewhere around their god, he broadcasted to the awed agnostics that a close-by evergreen was their sacred tree. Different sources report that a fir developed on the site of the fallen oak. The first Christmas tree or Tannenbaum was made in Germany. By the 19th century, the practice spread all around the nation and other adjoining places with the assistance of a few German royals. Then again, the German exiled people are the ones who carried the custom to America. 10. Most taxis in Germany are Mercedes-Benz. That's right, the extravagance brand, Mercedes-Benz, is the decision of vehicle for cab drivers in Germany. In the country of Germany, the brand has customarily been the best option for cab drivers. A famous model of taxi was the Mercedes-Benz W123, which was presented in an exceptional taxi particular all along. Mercedes offered changes to their taxi vehicles which included ivory paint, altered dashboard to take a taximeter, extra inside lights and solidified seats to endure weighty use. Today, W123 models looking great are in danger of being taken for product to Africa where they are thought of as quintessential for a taxi. 11. The first printed magazine was launched in 1663. The Gutenberg Press was established in Germany. The Urbalische Monatsunterredungen, the very first distributed magazine, was begun by Johann Rist, who was a German writer. As characterized, a magazine is a periodical distribution, by and large distributed on a normal timetable, frequently week by week or month to month, containing an assortment of content. They are for the most part supported by publicizing, price tag, prepaid memberships, or by a blend of the three. 12. There are 7,000 different beers in Germany. Beer is a significant piece of German culture. German beer is blended by the Reinheitsgebot, which allows just water, bounces, and malt as fixings, and specifies that brews not solely utilizing grain malt, like wheat brew, should be top-aged. In 2020, Germany positioned third in Europe with regards to per capita beer utilization, behind the Czech Republic and Austria. Germans love beer. Furthermore, the nation has more than 7,000 assortments of beer, which is a great deal of variety. 13. More than one-third of Germany is covered in forests and woodlands. The forest in Germany covers 11.4 million hectares, 32% of the complete region of the country. In the German timberlands develop around 90 billion youthful and old trees with an all-out wood load of 3.7 billion cubic meters. The meaning of the Government Woods Act, BWG, for backwoods is, any region planted with woodland plants. Backwoods additionally incorporates obvious or concealed ground regions, timberland streets, backwoods freedom and getting strips, backwoods glades and clearings, timberland knolls, grass clearing regions, wood capacity regions and different regions related with and serving the backwoods. Essentially, the German woods would be emphatically affected by deciduous trees, specifically red beech, Fagus sylvatica. The present tree species organization with high extensive coniferous trees mirrors the wood's utilization of the previous hundreds of years. From the medieval times to the mid-19th 100 years, many timberlands in Germany were overutilized or beaten to pieces. To turn away a fast-approaching wood issue, these crushed timberlands and regions were reforested with regards to supportable ranger service on the better soils with great water supply frequently with normal tidy, Picea abs, and on the supplement less fortunate and drier areas with pine, Pinus sylvestris. 14. Germany is a leader in climate and energy policies. As per the Federal Climate Protection Act, GHG lack of bias should be accomplished in Germany by 2045 at the most recent. Against this foundation, the overseeing parties commit themselves without precedent for the Alliance Understanding 2021 to specialized negative discharges as an essential enhancement to the regular sinks. In any case, the reconciliation of specialized carbon expulsion advancements, for example, carbon catch and capacity, doesn't stay without ramifications for the generally taken on decrease ways, which are moored in the Government Environment Security Act along with the area explicit decrease targets. In a conversation paper, the German Climate Organization examines the impacts of such impromptu combination under the ongoing structure conditions on moderation endeavors in the areas. In view of this, proposition for a transformation of the environment strategy target design are submitted. To proceed to guarantee and reinforce the most significant level of desire and manageability in environment security, the German Climate Organization suggests a different class for specialized sinks in the Federal Climate Protection Act. 15. Germany is one of the largest car-producing countries in the world. The automotive industry in Germany is one of the largest employers in the world, with a labor force of over 857,336, 2016, working in the industry. Being home to the advanced vehicle, the German car industry is viewed as the most serious and creative on the planet, and has the third most elevated vehicle creation in the world, and fourth most elevated complete engine vehicle creation. With a yearly result near 6 million and a 31.5% portion of the European Association, 2017, German planned vehicles won in the European Vehicle of the Year, the Global Vehicle of the Year, the World Vehicle of the Year yearly honors the most times among all nations. The Volkswagen Beetle and Porsche 911 took 4th and 5th spots in the Vehicle of the Century grant. 16. 65% of the highways in Germany have no speed limit. Autobahn, Germany's national highway network, is known as the highway without speed limits. It is the only European nation to not have general limit on its highways. There is Nürburgring for hustling, where specialists are in many cases seen testing supercars, then, at that point, there is superhighway until the end of the lot. It is a throughway network where driving is a permit that no other public streets on the planet gives. 17. Germany has over 400 registered zoos. Germans are zoo lovers, A reasonable greater part of them are supportive of zoological establishments, respect their endeavors to safeguard species as vital and figure out how to see the value in creatures in them. This is the after effect of the most recent and most thorough concentrate on the mentality of Germans towards zoos did by the assessment research organization Forsa. These survey results fill us with pride, says the president of the Verband der Zoologischen Garten, Association of Zoological Gardens, Professor Dr. Georg Junhold, and adds, in addition to the high level of acceptance, they show that our zoos succeed in acting as a bridge between urban living environments and the concerns of nature and species conservation by conveying these important issues. There are more than 400 registered zoos all over Germany. The largest zoo in the world is located in Berlin, known as the Berlin Zoological Garden. 18. The Cologne Cathedral took 632 years to build. Cologne Cathedral is a Catholic church in Cologne, North Rhine-Westphalia. It is the seat of the ecclesiastical overseer of Cologne and of the organization of the Archdiocese of Cologne. It is an eminent landmark of German Catholicism and Gothic design and was proclaimed a World Legacy Site in 1996. It is Germany's most visited milestone, drawing in a normal of 20,000 individuals every day. At 157 meters, 515 feet, the House of God is the tallest twin-spired church on the planet, the second tallest church in Europe after Ulm Minster, and the third tallest church of any sort on the planet. It is the biggest Gothic church in Northern Europe and has the second tallest towers. The pinnacles for its two immense towers give the basilica the biggest facade of any congregation on the planet. The ensemble has the biggest level-to-width proportion, 3.6:1, of any middle-aged church. Development of Cologne Cathedral started in 1248 yet was ended in the years around 1560 incomplete. Endeavors to finish the development started around 1814, however the undertaking was not as expected financed until the 1840s. The building was finished to its unique archaic arrangement in 1880. 19. Germany was the first to adopt the concept of daylight saving time. The principal states to embrace daily saving time, German, Sommerzeit, broadly were those of the German domain, and it's the second Great War partner Austria-Hungary initiating April 30, 1916, as a method for saving coal during wartime. England, the vast majority of its partners, and numerous European neutrals before long followed. It is a typical legend in the US that daily saving time was first carried out to serve ranchers. In actuality, ranchers have been one of the most grounded campaigning bunches against daily saving time since it was first carried out. The variables that impact cultivating plans, for example, morning dew and dairy cows' availability to be drained, are at last directed by the sun, so the time change presents superfluous difficulties. 20. The hamburger is named after the German city of Hamburg. The hamburger first appeared in the 19th or mid-20th century. The cutting-edge burger was a result of the culinary requirements of a general public quickly changing because of industrialization and the rise of the working people and the working class, with the subsequent interest for efficiently manufactured, reasonable food that could be devoured beyond the home. The name hamburger comes from the seaport city of Hamburg. Fast burger story. After the mariners got back from exchanging the Baltic districts, it is believed that they brought back some uncooked destroyed meat. The destroyed meat was then ready by an obscure German culinary expert. Accordingly, the hamburger was conceived. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Also press notification bell to notify you of any future similar videos. In spite of media portrayals, Mexico keeps on being among the most visited nations on the planet, attributable to its beaches, cultures, family accommodating and heartfelt attractions, and iconic Mayan ruins. In view of the obviously impressive beaches along its very nearly 6,000 miles of appealing shoreline, public regulation disclosed this large number of beaches. In the event that you're prepared to figure out exactly how wonderful these Mexican beach destinations are, here's a rundown of the best beaches in Mexico to assist you with arranging out your next beach getaway. Here are 15 best beach destinations in Mexico. Number 1. Cozumel. Highlighting waters of the Caribbean Ocean, Cozumel is the biggest island in the Mexican Caribbean, situated off the eastern shore of the Yucatan Peninsula. Whichever guide to Mexico beaches you counsel, Cozumel's gems will presumably make the rundown or top the rundown. Think fine white sand, clear turquoise blue water, and loads of adjacent attractions. The best part is that not normal for its neighbors, Cozumel's beaches don't include tumultuous gatherings or oceanside swimsuit volleyball matchups. All things being equal, you'll find a glorious island heaven with a family accommodating environment. Number 2. Cancun. Cancun is a barrier island off the southeast bank of Mexico, rich in history and stunning magnificence. From wonderful beaches and staggering dusks to adventurous watersports, memorable destinations, and top-notch diversion, Cancun, Mexico is a number one among families, singles, and couples. However perceived for having probably the most well-known beaches in Mexico, Cancun's magnificence doesn't stop at the coastline. There are Mayan sanctuaries, acrobatic dance exhibitions, local dishes, and an interesting nightlife scene. For a tranquil, less jam-packed heaven, we suggest Playa Chacmul. On the off chance that you wish to see dolphins skipping free Caribbean waters, Playa Delfines is the go-to beach for sightings, alongside the area's best hotels. An underwater museum also awaits you at Isla Mujeres. Don't miss out on the chance to check out the massive Mayan site in Cancun too, which also surprisingly offers a lights and sound show at night. Number 3. Playa del Carmen. Situated in the Mexican state of Quintana Roo along the Caribbean Sea, Playa del Carmen today is a famous traveler destination because of its palm-lined beaches, history, and cultural identity. Find the remnants of a proud culture and the energetic shades of what is presently Playa del Carmen. This city was once a Mayan fishing town named Zamenhof, which served as a religious center as well as a significant shipping lane of the incomparable Mayan civilization. Number 4. La Paz. Around 1,000 miles northwest of Cabo San Lucas, La Paz is the clamoring capital city of the Mexican province of Baja California Sur. La Paz is especially known for its beachfront promenade confronting the quiet Sea of Cortez, as well as its significant length of delicate white sand and warm shallow waters, making it the most secure ocean side for youngsters nearby. International restaurant and art craftsmanship likewise populate the city, sitting above the stunning Gulf of California. Jump or snorkel in the state of ocean lions on Isla Espiritu Santo, or watch gray whales from January to March in Magdalena Cove. For alluring Instagram photographs, go glamping under the stars on the coastline or up the mountains at Sierra La Laguna. Number 5. Costa Maya. Costa Maya used to be for the most part lacking until a huge wharf was developed, drawing in crowds of beachgoers who couldn't avoid a voyage on Mexico's east coast. Costa Maya is one more vacationer locale in Mexico that figured out how to keep a lovely harmony between customary Mayan character and advancement. You'll be invited by costumed Mayan performers and Mayan design, however you likewise get to appreciate extravagance shopping, beach clubs, and restaurants simultaneously. Divers will totally cherish the submerged wonderland at the Banco Chinchorro, while history buffs unquestionably will not get enough of the 3 underrated Mayan ruins found here, specifically, Xibanch, Kinichna, Cohunlich. Number 6. Tulum. Tucked away from the rush, hustle, and bustle of city life, Tulum is an ancient oasis along the east coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. We all know Mexico is filled with nice beaches, but more often than not, one of these nice beaches stand out due to rave reviews. We're talking about Tulum, a Mayan walled city that survived far into the 1400s and 70 years after the Spanish began colonizing Mexico. Its resilience as one of the best preserved Mayan sites attracts history enthusiasts, but its idyllic surrounding landscape holds so much more for the average wanderer. Playa Paraíso tops all the prettiest beaches in Tulum, and the ruins at Tulum makes this destination even more memorable. To combine Tulum's historical and natural attractions, go book a tour with Tulum Extreme for a heart-pounding adventure. Number 7. Huatulco. Huatulco sits on the state of Oaxaca along the southern shore of Mexico, confronting the Pacific Ocean. Bragging a stretch 20 miles of coastline, Huatulco is the ideal break for those looking for fine brilliant sand, submerged wrecks, horseback rides, sound reefs, and a beautiful dawn or nightfall view. On the off chance that you're searching for complete unwinding in the midst of stunning perspectives, Huatulco promotes Playa Arecido and Playa La Entrega. In the event that you're feeling a peace daring, then again, go to Cacaluta, which must be reached by boat or climb. Number 8. Isla Mujeres. Situated around 13 kilometers off the shores of Cancun, Isla Mujeres is the conjunction of the Caribbean Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico. Time is a deception when you're at Isla Mujeres, the quiet option in contrast to the exuberant city of Cancun across the ocean toward the west. This little island is known for its stunning white sand seashores, clear waters, well-disposed local people, various populace, seafood, turtle homestead, and Mayan ruins. The principal ocean side of Isla Mujeres, Playa Norte, is a therapeutic and calming beach with bars and umbrella rentals. Assuming that you're into submerged undertakings with fish, nurture sharks, whale sharks, and dolphins, there's Playa Garifon and Playa Tiburon. Number 9. Sayulita. Around 25 miles northwest of Puerto Vallarta lies a drowsy little beach village home to elite seashores, giant waves, and noteworthy water activities. At any point envisioned residing in a town where the ocean side is only a morning walk away? Experience this dream in any event, for simply a little while at the curious, radiant town of Sayulita, where the waves are basically as enlivened as the sunset. With Sayulita being an beach village, it's nothing unexpected the way that its local people are generally talented surfers. The world-renowned hub of nearby surfers is Playa Caricitos, while fledglings join at the many surf schools around the town. Whale watching is additionally famous at Sayulita's seashores. Number 10. Punta Mita. Approximately 28 minutes from Sayulita is Punta Mita, a sleepy private local area encompassed by white sand seashores on 3 of its sides. Punta Mita is home to 5-star hotels and extravagant getaway rentals, as well as golf courses. Punta Mita Ocean Sports offers you the most stunning beach encounters, for example, sport fishing, kayaking, whale watching, surfing, paddleboarding, sailing, diving, snorkeling, swimming with dolphins, thus substantially more. There's likewise a bird safe haven close by, and sporting paths have large amounts of Punta Mita seen. Number 11. Playa Zicatila. This 3.5-kilometer long riding spot rules over the other surf spots in Mexico, attributable to the monstrous waves from the Mexican pipeline. Assuming you love riding huge waves that can balloon to 20 feet, Playa Zicatila has all that you really want for an exhilarating beach day. Was that scary? Zicatila isn't all dangerous for novices. More settled and milder waves are additionally presented by shores like Playa La Punta and Playa Principal. Number 12. Playa del Amor. Playa del Amor is where the quiet Sea of Cortez meets the unpleasant Pacific Ocean. Searching for finding some kind of harmony among quieting and rough on a Mexican beach? Playa del Amor is our best choice, a white sand beach encompassed by transcending rock developments and perpetual seas. There's likewise an intriguing submerged world underneath the waves. We'll let you know a loosely held bit of information this exact second. Playa del Amor prides itself with the to a great extent misjudged hidden beach, a cove with an enormous opening above it. Number 13. Playa La Ropa. Named after the occurrence when a Spanish vessel sank and its freight of vivid textures washed shorewards, Playa La Ropa is very much cherished by families today for the quiet waves and shallow waters. Playa La Ropa brags a scope unmistakable white sand and a plenty of tomfoolery oceanside exercises, including parasailing, water skiing, and cruising. Being a bay, little swimmers are safeguarded by the halfway hug of the shore from the rushes of the untamed ocean, making it the most secure beach for youngsters. Number 14. Playa de Acumal. Found south of Cancun and between the towns of Playa del Carmen and Tulum, Acumal is one more famous beachfront local area, really one of the most established seaside resort regions in the Yucatan. Acumal, when converted into English, signifies place of the turtles. Adequately genuine, this ocean side overflows with marine life like exotic fish, vivid coral beds, and its notable green turtles. The best part is that you can swim alongside them. Number 15. Puerto Vallarta. Settled among safeguarded bays and huge resort areas, Puerto Vallarta is one of Mexico's most famous beachside towns. A considerable lot of the best activities in Mexico are really tough situation pressed into this flourishing hotel town. Puerto Vallarta is another vacationer most loved worth focusing on, and this is apparent on its enthusiastic streets and crowds. Embraced by the Sierra Madre, lined with beaches, and specked with little islands, Puerto Vallarta is wealthy in regular magnificence, from its woodlands to its shoreline. While there are various open doors for remote ocean fishing, whale watching, snorkeling, and swimming, we swear that Puerto Vallarta's old town, culinary customs, wildernesses, botanical gardens, waterfalls, art galleries, and more are likewise definitely worth your consideration. Featuring truthfully white sand beaches in this list, with texture so soft and fine it's almost like clay, each destination offers each traveler an undoubtedly memorable experience varying from calm sea to wild surf sea, from turtles to reserved corals, and much more. Stay safe, enjoy your trip and bring home tons of memory. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Also press notification bell to notify you of any future similar videos.